Good morning, everyone. I'm hiding behind that screen. You can see it says YouTube Live starting soon. Look, see? Hello, here I am. It was a clever bit of shindiggery that I was doing there, hiding, but I'm not hiding anymore. Here I am, and in a different part of my studio today than I was yesterday because of the issues I had with my tech yesterday. So a big pain in the bottom. However, I've figured out how I'm going to do it today. It's not going to be the same as yesterday. I won't be holding up a board. I am actually going to be drawing flat on a table, but I'm just going to be taking you with me. So my name is Jules, by the way. If you follow me on YouTube, then you'll know that I make videos on drawing and publishing children's books because I'm a children's book author and illustrator. And for the last 2 years, I've also been making bullet journal videos, so I've got a playlist all about that as well if you're interested in bullet journals. But mostly my brain power is taken up by what I'm going to draw next. So I thought, being as there are a lot of kind of stressful things going on in the world at the moment, in the US obviously there's the election stuff going on that's kind of going on and on, that's really stressful for people, and in the UK we've just gone into our second lockdown, as have various other places in Europe, so that's kind of getting people down, I think. Excuse me. So what I thought we'd do is to take our minds off of it, and just to kind of give yourself a bit of a breather. I'm just going to do a little bit of drawing. Yesterday we did a cute doggy, and I'll just show you very quickly. Well, this was the sketch I did before I did the tutorial yesterday. The actual picture that we ended up with, I'm going to be putting them on my website. Haven't done it yet. That's my plan for today, is to get them up on my website. So if you want to download what we do today or yesterday, then you can. As for Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be doing this again at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's a bit easier for people who are west of the UK, because it's not the middle of the night. I haven't really got a plan yet, and I did ask yesterday what people are suggesting, so I'm all ears for what you want. So do let me know. I did put a little poll up yesterday as suggestions for things, and who knows, let's see what comes up. Hi JV and hi Emmy, how are you both today? I've got some hellos to do as well for other people who joined us yesterday. I want to say hello to Billy, Lara, Tulip, Christopher, Nicole, Visionary Art, Bill, Terry, Sarah, Sharon and Popper Tray. So hello to all of you. Thanks very much for sending me messages of support and ideas about what you want. I'm really pleased to have you there listening and drawing along with me. So that's what we're going to do today. So the other thing I just wanted to ask you before we start is, what is your plan for today? So yesterday's plan for me was I was going to clear my kitchen. Well, that didn't happen because I was trying to figure out how to plug in my camera and get a really good view of what I'm drawing. So actually what I'm going to do is move the webcam, so if you get seasickness, then just hold on for a minute, look out at the horizon, and I'll take you with me, and we're going to look at the bit of paper that we're going to draw on rather. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. So there's our bit of paper. It's also very confusing because actually everything is mirrored, and I'm sure there's a way around it, but haven't quite figured it yet. So what we're going to be using today is some colouring pencils. I've got a soft pencil, this is a 9B, and I've also got one of these Staedtler pigment liners, This is a 0.3, but quite frankly, if you haven't got one of these, but you have got a biro or a ballpoint pen or something like that, that is just as good. And we're going to be drawing some flowers. So this is very kind of not very realistic, but great for if you want to have a birthday card or something like that for somebody. So I'm just going to, first of all, just going to map out a few very basic shapes. I'm only going to do maybe 3 bigger ones, and then we're going to have some, this is going to be grass, and then we'll also have some little flowers like this. So if you've got a pencil and a bit of paper, you can draw this, or you can watch the playback. And then before I go on much further, hoping that's clear, before we go on much further, I'm going to colour it, and I'm using some different blues and some oranges because we're at that time of year now. So I'm going to start with my palest. This is a sort of bluey greeny turquoisey colour. If you're into your noises that make you go all funny and quivery, then maybe this is for you. But you might be the sort of person who hates the sound of pencils on paper, so you're going to have to plug your ears up. And then I'm going to take a slightly darker colour and just do very lightly around the edges. So then we're going to be losing that pencil line. It just gives a bit of definition and sort of shadow, like that. And then the darker blue still, just around the bottom. And these are actually water soluble pencils, so you can use a bit of water or a bit of solvent or something with these to blend them, but I'm just going to leave it like this because not everybody has that sort of capacity. Right, now I'm going to take my pigment liner and I'm going to draw around the edge. Now I don't know if you can see, I haven't stuck to where I've coloured it. I've gone slightly over, so you get this slightly offset sort of feel to it, as if it's been printed slightly incorrectly, but I quite like that. Gives it that old school kind of poster almost feel to it. And then above these lines I'm going to draw some little circles, and these represent the pollen specks. Okie dokie. Now let's have an orange. Use that paler orange, and I'm going to do these little flowers down the bottom in this orange, and really do the same sort of technique. Start off with the pale one, go slightly darker. Make sure your pencils are really sharp, by the way, because it does make a difference. And to keep them sharp, what you do is you roll the pencil like this as you're drawing with it. And then the darkest, which is a red. Like that. So, there we have the beginnings of it, and I'm just going to go back to my pen again. JV says, I don't know if you're male or female, JV, but you say that you're currently, want to write or illustrate a children's book, and you're currently doodling birds every day, well, last year I was doing lots of bird doodling as well, and I got a little bit obsessed about going out and looking at birds. And I'm lucky enough that I found somebody who knows a lot actually about he's an ornithologist and a conservationist, and he's worked for the RSPB, which is the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds in the UK. It's a very big charity organisation, and we've become really good friends, and so I've been very lucky that when we go out for walks, he knows what we're looking at. Got all sorts of things that I didn't realise we had on the Isle of Wight where I live. And recently we've been given some sea eagles, white-tailed eagles, which have been roosting, nesting over on the north coast of the island, but they've been tracked as well. They go up to Scotland and over to Northern Europe and come back for their holidays to the island. Okay, now I am going to do something slightly different on this one. Again, I'm going to be slightly offset, like that, but I'm going to do something a bit more decorative inside. There, there's some squirrely bits. You can get different thicknesses of these pens, and I use Staedtler, but a lot of people use the Pigma fine liners, and you get different sizes. You can get 0.05, I think is the smallest, up to 1.0, I think it is, which is pretty thick. So just using that one isn't sharp enough. Just using different colours, but the same method, starting with light and going darker and darker. And when you're using colouring pencils, you don't really need to press hard. You need to put lots of layers rather than pressing hard on it. This, I really recommend that drawing is a good way for just chilling out and when you're worrying about stuff, because it just sort of stops you from thinking about all of those other things. Well, it certainly does me. I think maybe some people get that when they're doing reading or going to the gym, or doing something that just takes their mind off of whatever else is going on in the world. And there's the old saying about how, I can't remember exactly how the saying goes actually, but it's to do with having control over things. There are things that you can control and do something about, and then there are things that you can't. No matter what you do or who you are, there are some things that you just cannot control. So just do something about things you can control. And I quite like being able to have a control over what I'm drawing. But even when you're drawing something, even when you're doing something artistic, sometimes it does go in a different direction to what you thought it was going to go in, and that's part of the fun of it. I really like using watercolours for that exact reason. You're never quite sure what's going to happen with watercolour paint or where it's going to end up. So this one is going to be like the flowers that you get from onions. I can't remember the name of them now, but they have these big balls of usually purple flowers, and these tiny little flowers make up that enormous ball. It kind of looks like a big ball of fluff, but actually it's tiny little flowers. So that's one of those. And I was really lucky this year. I had a sunflower seed that was sown by the birds when they came and took some sunflowers from my bird table last winter, and there was one little escapee that made it down to the ground and started to grow, and so instead of clearing it away, I thought, I think I'm going to leave that there and see what happens. And it grew into the most enormous sunflower and was absolutely amazing. I think I put photos of it on my Instagram feed if you want to scroll back to about May time. And it was really a surprise, and certainly something that I hadn't anticipated was going to happen. I saved the sunflower seeds for to feed the birds in the winter, and I also saved the actual sort of husk of the stem, which was really thick, really thick, because it's hollow inside, and I thought, well, that would probably be quite a good place for insects to go and hide during the winter. Okie doke. Right, so we have leaves on those little flowers. I'm just going to give these a little bit yellow in the middle there. And then we need to put some, where these pollen bits are. What colour do you think we would have? I'm wondering. Hello, Kelas. Is that right? Did I say that right? Kelas? And hello, Nicole. Nice to see you. I would like you to vote on what colour I'm going to use for the pollen. What colour would you like me to use for the pollen? Could you say in the chat, please, and then I will colour those in. But in the meantime, whilst I'm waiting for you to do that, I'm going to do the grass. So the grass is over here. Just going to follow it. It's like a big S, sort of lazy S shape. It doesn't seem that long ago. What are we now? Beginning of November. It doesn't seem that long ago since the fields and the meadows were full of this long grass waving about in the breeze. And we, in the UK this year, we had a really nice summer. We're very adept at having terrible summers in the UK. And for many years, particularly whilst I was outdoors in the summer doing outdoor events for books, or sometimes doing things like face painting, that sort of thing, the amount of times that I got rained off or winded off, as in it was windy, I can't tell you, it was really annoying. So to have a really lovely summer was extraordinary. And by lovely, I mean it was warm, it was sunny. We had a couple of weeks maybe spread out where it was too hot and it was difficult for me to work down in the studio. But generally speaking, from when we had lockdown, so that was mid-March through to the end of September, we had just really nice long days of daylight and sunshine. It was beautiful. So, and it doesn't seem that long ago since that was happening. So like I said, it was, you know, September really. It was only 8 weeks ago, wasn't it? Even less than that, and we were still having warm days. But now, this morning the sky's blue, a little bit of cloud out there, but it's windy and it's been cold. Okay, right. JV and Nicole, you've gone for purple and pink. So here we have pink and purple. And I'm just going to give those guys just a few little dots. I'm going to go inside the circles, but I'm also going to go crazy and go outside, put some up like this, because this particular flower is kind of the centerpiece of the picture. So I'm going to let its pollen do its thing and float about in the air. So I think that's quite pretty. Okay, let's see if I've got a darker purple as well. Let's have a look. I shall show you the inside of my pencil case. Let's have a look. I'm sure I've got, there he is, dark purple. I'm just going to put a few little spishy smashy bits of dark purple in there like that. Okay, so what do you guys want me to draw over the weekend? And I'm going to also put down the bottom where I've got this grass, I'm going to add a few more bits. Oh, that's better, isn't it? Can you see that a bit better now? Oh, there we go. Live and learn, eh? Yes, Nicole, I am going to draw a squirrel actually. I think I'm going to do trees and squirrels. And then I've got one more day to fill, so you decide. So long as it's not something, well, okay, I'm going to put my foot down and say, not spiders, not something really grisly, and not monkeys. Because as I said yesterday, do you know the funny thing is, even though you think, well, surely if you can draw people, just add a little bit of hairiness and you got a monkey. But it's something to do with the way their faces are. I just really cannot get to grips with drawing monkeys and apes and stuff. Very apist, I know. There we go. So hopefully you can. Is the picture coming up really dark as well? Are you having? Because on my little screen it's looking a bit dark, but I'm hoping that you can see it a bit better, despite the fact that I've got my massive studio light pointing directly at it. I think I might need to fiddle about with the settings a bit. But there you go, there's the picture. I think this is kind of finished, maybe, do you reckon? It would be nice actually to put a few little spots of glitter up there, but so I might do that at some point. But this is the sort of thing, it's so easy, honestly. Even if you've never done something like this before, if you just did that flower with these little circles coming out the top for a birthday card for somebody, if you're stuck in like we are at the moment and you can't get out to the shops, doing a birthday card or something, you could do a Christmassy version, just do red and green. Then that will give you something to do, keep your mind off of your troubles, and have a unique birthday card or greetings card for somebody. So, what a fab idea. Good, okay, so I'm going to go away and have a think about what I'm going to do for Sunday. Saturday, I'm definitely going to do squirrels in trees. And yeah, let me know what you think I could do for Sunday. And Sunday I'm going to be here at 3 o'clock, so that would be in America, that's going to be 5 hours earlier, so sort of 10ish. And for you, Nicole, I guess that's going to be the middle of the night. So you'll have to watch the playback, I think. Unless you're really determined and are going to, you know, stick around. have a go over later on to my website, julesmarinabooks.com, because I'm going to upload. I'm going to put a link in there for you to be able to download both the doggy picture from yesterday, this one, and the two from the weekend. I'm going to set up a series of emails where I can email you the links so that you can download these and copy them or use them for a bit of inspiration. I'll show you the one that I did earlier in the year, which I took. This is kind of where I took the inspiration from. So this one is a bit more bluish, and I think I might have blended them a bit. In fact, I definitely did, because if you look at these lines here, I think I've gone over that with some water. So it doesn't take very long, and it just, honestly, it really does just give your mind something else to think about. So I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you so much for joining, and hi Ice Lollyland, thank you very much for saying it's not too dark. That's great to hear. And I'm thinking about, yes, 2 of you have said maybe a bird for Sunday. That sounds good. I like birdies. So yeah, I might do that. Have a brilliant day, whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you over the weekend. See ya!